How am I now?
No.
Okay, yeah, you know how these things go, man. It's modern technology, and I'm a caveman. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the one and only Tomas Bodin. Oh, greetings, salutations, respect, and love. This is a huge honor. I am so happy to have the one, the only Tomas Bodin in the house, man. I've been a fan for a long, long time. You and I have never spoken, so this is a real treat for me. How you doing today, Tomas?
All good, and thank you for having me. It's a privilege. Yes, I'm all good. It's a bit busy at this moment to finalize my little new project with my new band. So yeah, and the thing is, when working nowadays as a musician, you have to do everything yourself
Yeah,
because it's hard to earn money from selling records nowadays, and I mean everyone's streaming. So from that point of view, it's you have to cut the costs more. And to me, I do the cover art and everything. So yeah, the only thing I didn't do was the mastering. And it goes what I was saying. You need a really good mastering engineer
yeah,
to make. Good
absolutely. It's a big part of the finished product, but tell the good people what we are talking about, because I don't think a lot of people know what is going on in your world. We've got a brand new album coming out, man.
Yeah,
I'm
the
really
thing is,
excited.
yeah, the thing is, I have been a bit off grid a couple of years, and yeah, it took me some years to just reset and find my own song, my own way of working from the day I didn't take part of the Flower Kings anymore, and I think that was helpful for me. It was a good move not to release too much music. Um, and now I felt that it's time to go back to the prog scene. And with this album, which is my new band called The Masters Brew, and it's an instrumental album, but it feels like it's a good vibe in the music and stuff like that. So yeah,
Who's in
I'm
the band
thinking
right now?
about.
I know in the past you've worked with the ex Flower King members
Sorry,
on a lot of your records. We've got one on this record too, right? The great Felix Learman. Got him on drums on this
oh,
project.
hang on. I
Yeah.
have a
Yeah,
bit of problem because
yeah, you're kind of freezing up a little bit, so we can see what's going on there. Some kind of
you
connection
hear me
deal.
now. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's better.
The members, yeah, the members in
Okay.
the group. It's Felix Lehrman from the former Flower King drummer. And he's an amazing guy, and we are really dear friends.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy can drum.
Yeah, yeah, he's a hell of a guy, and then I brought my old friend JJ Marsh, and he's a guitar player that used to play with Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple for like 15 years. And I mean, he's a classic rock guitarist, but honestly, he can play any style.
Well, I mean, I would imagine that cat could probably hire anybody for his band, right? And he ended up with JJ, so he's got to be pretty good.
He's amazing. I mean, when you hear the music on the album, you will get really blown away by the way he plays the guitar. He can go from the deepest, most sad blue notes, into Jeff Beck style, into really hard rock riffs, and yeah, it's absolutely fab to work with him. We realized with this album that we've been working together for 20 years now.
Yeah.
I brought him into the Sonic Boulevard album, and that was 2002, and yeah, 24 now. So, and then on bass, I asked Felix lyrics about if he knew a good bass player, and he said, "Of course I do a lot of bass players, but I want the best one. Who's the
Yeah.
best?" And then he came up with Thomas from Germany, and I mean Thomas is a kind of absurd player. He can play jazz, and who's he's playing with? Well, Bill Evans and Randy Brecker. We are talking about world names.
Yeah.
And then he can play funk. He can play everything. I mean everything, even rock. So he's very complete as a bass player.
And do you feel like all that experience and that versatility is put to good use with this material? Give us a little idea of what this new record's going to sound like. Is it going to be kind of in that Flower Kings universe, or are you just branching out? I read something in the press kit about Cuban music or Brazilian music being an influence here. Talk to me about what's going on with this new record.
Yeah, the music thing is, some years ago I was watching a TV show, a series called Babylon Berlin. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a German one. And the music from that movie was so thrilling because it was a mix between the sound from the Eastern Europe with instruments like dulcimer, and then it was also a mix between that and German cabaret, and it was a beautiful mix, and I just felt so much in love with that music. And so that was the first influence to make music from my heart that had this world music touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from that, it went on, and I thought, hey, what if I can make music from influence from Latin America and Cuba, and it grew even wider and ended up with music from Africa, more perhaps in a sort of Savigny weather report tradition, but it is a mix between world music, prog, funk, rock. And a dear friend of mine from America, he had the chance to hear the music, and he said it sounds so fresh compared to a lot of music that comes out today in the prog world. It's something new. It isn't the same. Everybody's producing music nowadays according to a formula.
Right.
They make the prog formula. Well, you should have a mellotron, chorus, pedal, and everything, and the epic long songs.
That's right. Got to have the epic on there too.
Yeah. And I don't have the epics like 20 minutes, but yeah, it's a lot of music. I think the album in itself ends up around 75 minutes, so it's almost
okay.
Like,
yeah. You sound like you're pretty happy with what's going on here. You look and sound like you're pretty content with this group of musicians, with this set of music.
Yeah, I have never played with such. They're absolutely great players. They are. It's my dream team, really, and also, I mean, I'm growing older like everyone, and the best part of it is that I'm totally. My confidence is so, you know, I am what I am, and I do my music despite what everyone else say, and this is from my heart, And if you like it, fine. If you don't like it, fine. It's from I love making music, and that's the way it's going to continue now. I'm so really, I'm eager to make the second one. Yeah.
Really good. We're eager too, because I mean, just going through your solo discography, I forgot how many albums you had, and I forgot how many albums you had that I actually liked, man. Pinup Guru, such a great album, man. I just listened to that last night. Kind of forgot how much I loved it. I Am, absolute masterpiece. And then Eggs and Dogs. I've been getting, since I announced that you were coming on the channel, I get a lot of people hitting me up, asking me questions, or, hey, you got Thomas coming on, ask him this question, ask him that question. And inevitably, every single person's like, ask him if he's going to do a Eggs and Dogs Part 2.
Yes, and the answer to that is yes. The thing is, I am and you are. The Eggs and Dogs album is called You Are.
Right.
That's the two parts.
So that's that's two. Yeah. So we have Part 3 coming up, right? You need that.
The next one is He, She, It, and it will be an album with lyrics and vocals about the love between him and her, or every aspect of love, and how it can sometimes go to absurd levels and twisted versions. So it feels like it's a kind of nice pool to really dig into and find a lot of inspiration lyric wise.
Yeah.
So yeah, and this is in the pipeline for gonna take a few years to make. I always take a good time to make an album because I want it to be really perfect. So.
Yeah, and the discography is rock solid, man. I was even listening to Ambient Cooking last night.
Yeah,
I had not heard that. I just figured it was ambient stuff, and I'm like, let me just put it on. I'm ready to go to sleep, right? I thought it would put me. Man, I listened to that whole thing. I was ready for more. It's awesome. So,
yeah, and the thing with that was that it was a sort of crowdfunding,
yeah,
to gain some coins for this album,
right?
And but then again, I'm not. I can't really ask people to send me money for nothing. So I made this album in a very short period of time, a few months. So at least if you buy this one, you get something for it. So it's only released on a digital platform.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I kind of didn't even take it all that seriously. I didn't even really consider it like a real album or whatever. And I was actually shocked at how good some of those soundscapes are on there, man. Talk to me a little bit about what kind of gear you're using on this new record. What kind of keyboards you bust out, anything new, any new sounds, because it's got to be kind of a freeing experience. You don't have to worry about being under any umbrella now. You can do Tomas Bodin music, right? You don't have to worry about Flower Kings fans, being upset that you've got Brazilian rhythms in your music. You can do whatever you want now. So that's got to feel kind of freeing, right?
It is. And it's also given me, I think, a lot of respect among the fans that I go my own way. I don't want to produce music to just make my living. I produce music because I really love making that kind of music.
Yeah.
And talking about gears, I'm freak when it comes to getting new synthesizers. So I got the Moog 1, the flagship of Moog. I got the Voyager. I got the Moog Matriarch. I got tons. Let me show you.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see a little bit. Yeah.
Here
we got a lot of gearheads watching, so they're going to love this.
Modular. And this is the centerpiece of my equipment, the Moog 1. And I got ARP 2600 and I got some Buchla synthesizers, and everything. Analog goodies. That's what I prefer. And I've always been really, I want to have them, and it's not for collection. I use them. I love them.
Yeah.
My instruments. It's like my baby.
Yeah, they are like babies to you, right? That's how you make your money too. It's not just a labor of love; it's actually a labor of commerce as well, and that's tricky too. When you're a musician, you'd like to make some money, but you want to stay true to what you're doing too.
Yeah, that's absolutely number one. I have never ever been even close to repeat surprise myself for
Yeah.
every release. And for that reason, it could be like, for instance, I had got an album called Swedish Family, which was basically me making Swedish folk music in the way they used to make music here in Sweden back in the 70s, you know, like very hippish, yeah, let's say.
I love that album, by the way. You're talking about the Swedish Family?
Yeah.
I love that album. That album's great.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I returned to that Swedish folk tradition on this new album with the Masters Brew because two songs are actually made with that tradition of Swedish folk music.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like Sweden, probably more than most other countries, just very open to taking influence from other regions, right? You mentioned the Balkans, right? I hear a lot of times in Scandinavian folk music, I hear influences from not just Scandinavia, but I hear Eastern European influences. I hear like some of those Mediterranean influences. It just seems like the Swedes, you Swedes just seem to have these good ears that can absorb different things better than most people.
Well, one thing for sure, Sweden is a big country when it comes to music. I think, imagine we are only like 10 million in this country, but we are the third biggest country when it comes to music.
Oh, yeah. It's incredible.
England and then Sweden.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. Then, of course, the commercial scene here in Sweden when it comes to music is huge.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Swedish composers, they are producing everything for this European Song Contest and stuff like that, which I don't listen to, but I respect the craftsmanship.
Have you ever submitted something for Eurovision for those competitions?
Proudly with my hand on my heart, no, sir.
I salute you for that one. Yeah, we don't have the whole Eurovision here, but you know we got American Idol, which is almost as bad. It's just horrible. Nobody wants to hear that stuff. It's just awful. So when did you start playing keyboards, man? You're pretty good at them keyboards. You must have been playing a little while. What was your childhood like? Because I was told when I was 5, I was given a choice. My dad told me you're playing guitar or you're playing piano. Those are your two choices. So, of course, I picked guitar. How did you get started?
Well, there was this old piano in my parents' house, and for some reason, when I was 4 years old, I started to just live by the piano. It became my playground, you know.
I had a feeling.
You know, like small tin soldiers, stuff like that. I played with them inside the piano. You know, they lived among the strings and stuff like that. So from very early age, I had this almost spiritual contact with the instrument, and then I started to just practice by ear, and for and it went on quite for some years, and that I think produced my way of thinking melodies, because
Sure.
I'm a little bit awkward when it comes to melodies. And also, I started to listen to not what you normally do.
All right. What were you listening to when you were little boy Thomas? What was he listening to?
Well, the little Thomas, he digested a lot of classical music, you know, and it wasn't the mainstream like Mozart and Beethoven and stuff like that. I like Beethoven, but I went on for Russian composers like Swedish and very weird kind of compositions, you know, and it widened my horizon when it comes to mostly how to produce a melody and the harmony around it. And I'm not, if you look on the jazz musicians, they are awesome when you come up with the harmonies suiting into the right melody. I don't work like that. I can't think in that term. Because
Yeah.
for me personally, I'm not interested in it. I never was interested in that. It sounds more mathematical, but for me, it's about hitting those right notes to feel something inside here. You know, then I know it's a good.
I know what you mean about those Slavic composers, man. There's something about their melodic ear is just so different. I mean, the chord structures, the melodies, just a little bit different than what, in the West I was used to hearing. So yeah, me too. I was drawn to Tchaikovsky and Mussorgsky and composers like that, probably more than Beethoven and Mozart, because they were just a little weirder, I guess. But I do hear that in the way you compose. I can tell you're very, very aware of what inversion you're playing a chord in, right? Or, if you need to do that chord at a lower octave or a higher octave, you're actually thinking about that stuff all the time.
Yeah, I know pretty much about, composition, how to which instrument should sound a bit more in order to in the end get a full spectrum of the frequencies you needed.
Oh yeah. And it shows. It shows in your music, the way you compose it, the way you play. You ever feel like you were born in the wrong decade? like you were born in the wrong time?
Yeah. I think my first 50 years, I said yes. But now, the last 10 years or 15 years, I should say, I adopted to this kind of weird situation we have nowadays. I think me. I'm a child of the revolution, from the 60s, and people in our age, we really we were there when they released Sgt. Pepper and everything. And that was another.
You were born in 59, right, Thomas?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like 3 years older than me.
Yeah, but it gave us something. And here in Sweden we had a radio show that was called the Melody Radio, and it was we didn't have too many channels on the radio,
right?
And that channel, they broadcasted music a little bit for everyone. So they had a sort of old song that my grandmother would appreciate, and then there was something for the youth, and something for the kids, and something for the mid-age. This broad palette of music was broadcasted. And
it's not like that anymore, I bet.
No, everyone specialized their own hit songs from, and very, very narrowed way of thinking that you specify this music is for people between 20 and 30. This music is because this music you will listen to when you're going to have a party. This music is when you're going to relax. Look at Spotify and stuff like that.
Well, I blame Sweden for it all, man. I do. I blame it. I'm 25% Swedish, so I'm taking part of the blame too.
Yeah. Spotify is awful. Did you know how much you earn as a musician when there's one stream at Spotify? I think it's 1.00000.
Keep those zeros coming, yeah.
Yeah, $1. So I mean, you earn more if you sell one CD. You earn more than 100,000 streams.
It ain't right, Thomas, because I'm monetized on YouTube, and I'm here to tell you this here video right here will probably make me like $50 or $60. So Spotify should be ashamed of themselves. And the whole idea of breaking down a pop song by its constituent parts, and the hook has to hit at this point, and the chorus has to hit at this point, and everything's all mathematical, and all emotion's been taken out. I blame Sweden, I blame ABBA, I blame Dr. Luke, I blame the whole lot of us, man.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Hey, what's up with the Barracuda Triangle?
Yeah,
that was a cool little side project.
I love that project because it was so absurd. It was. It felt like I really wanted to push the limit for uh, how to create music that is so weird but still listenable. So, but some people hate it, But you have to do it. You have to do it.
Now,
And
did you guys play on Cruise to the Edge?
yeah, we did. We did. And actually, I think one song we played on that cruise is on this album now.
Really?
Yeah, and that's a song on this album called Two Brothers.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and it's a kind of bossa nova feel to it, but it goes in an odd signature like 7/8 beat. And then the first time we played it was on the cruise to the edge,
Cool.
but it was not in this kind of arrangement.
Right, right. Now, you've had a little bit of time on your hands. Not only, did you leave a little band that you were in for a long, long time, and then we had COVID hit and all that kind of stuff. And you picked up a new hobby, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of photography nowadays, and that is if you refer to that one, yeah, I really love making go out in nature and take some snapshots. And it all started with my dear friend Ian that sadly passed away a year ago, and he was the man that me to this hobby. He took the most awesome picture. He was from Scotland originally, and he arranged some concerts for the Flower Kings. So in that way, we started to become friends. And then he brought me down to Malt to play on his wedding, and we became dear friends. And then he moved up to Sweden to South
Oh, wow.
and sadly passed away last year. But anyway, he was amazing with that camera, and I started to ask him about it. How do you do and stuff like that, and he gave me some tips and tricks for
So that's how it all started.
yeah. So yeah, yeah. I think the more you learn, yeah, it's cool. I'm always that's beautiful. What is that?
You should know you're on the album.
Yeah, Elsewhere.
How gorgeous is that? Look at that artwork, man. Oh, this album's amazing. I don't know exactly what you're playing on it, but I'm a huge Robert Vitelli fan. How did you hook up with him to appear on this? I give this 10 out of 10, man. This is one of my favorite albums of the last 8 or 9 years. I just absolutely adore it. How did that happen? How did that collaboration occur?
Well, Roberto contacted me firstly for I think it was another album he made. So this one is the last, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the album before this one. He wanted me to. He said like this. I would be delighted if you could come up with a sort of intro to the whole album, and you can do whatever you want. And the way it's going to work is your intro is going to seamlessly flow into the next song. So what I did, I listened to his composition, and then I got some inspiration for it, and yeah. So that was the first collaboration between him and me.
Amazing. So good. You guys need to work together again, because I'm telling you, Ellesmere, you and Robert together, it's a dream team. We've seen you with other dream teams, but we're not going to go there. I want to talk about how your ear's doing, man. We heard you had some ear issues.
Yeah, but it's much better today, and some, if if I'm in a time with a lot of stress and stuff like that, it always gets worse. I had this sort of was a sort of accident when I got a very high feedback loop into my left ear. So what happened basically was that I lost 30 dB, which is a lot,
That's a lot.
between 3,000 and 4,000 hertz. It's pretty much where you have a lot of the mid frequencies. But I learned to compensate it now because my right ear is pretty, still, I'm an old fart, so you always get a bad hearing when you.
Yeah, but hey, Beethoven wrote the ninth when he was completely deaf, so we're all right here. You're going to be just fine. Another thing my people wanted you to talk about briefly was your association, your affiliation with another great Swedish band whom I absolutely adore, Moon Safari. The word has it that you discovered them or they sent you a demo and you produced their first album, or what's the story there? Because Moon Safari is red hot right now. I don't know if you're paying attention or not, Thomas, but Moon Safari is tearing it up and they're going to take over the world.
Yeah, I agree. They are, in my opinion, perhaps one of the top bands in the prog right now. The thing is, back in the days when the Fire Kings recorded DVD from Uppsala Stadsteater, the theater in Uppsala, we saw those guys. There were four guys in the audience. They sat with really weird kind of big wooden flowers like this, like sunflowers, huge like this. They looked weird, and so young and so full of energy and love for the music, and they were totally washed away by the music. They just loved it, and after the whole shooting with the DVD was finalized, I just had to ask them, "Hey guys, so tell me what's the story behind those flowers? What are you?"
Yeah, what are you? Who are you?
Tell me all about it. And then they say, well, we have a band here. We live in the north part of Sweden, and we really love Fire Kings, and we would be absolutely delighted if you just could have a listen and think what
well, you did a great job on the debut album, The Doorway to Summer. Fantastic record. Maybe if it wasn't for you, we would have never heard about Moon Safari. So again, thank you, Thomas.
I think that they are too good, because eventually someone would have.
Oh yeah, somebody would have heard those harmonies and said, get those boys signed up, because man, oh man, nobody can harmonize like those Atkinson brothers, man. That's just great stuff.
And actually, Simon, the mastermind behind all this vocals, I worked with him in the UR, the X and Dogs album, and he's absolutely fab too. He's a genius. He's a genius.
I maybe wouldn't have gone that far until I heard Himmelbacken Volume 2, their new album. And the epic on there is just so good, man. It's as good as anything the Flower Kings ever did. Oh, no, I said it, but it's true. I love Moon Safari. Just fantastic. Good stuff. There was a rumor going around back in the day, and I've never heard you address it, but I'm sure you have. But I heard a rumor back in the day that Yes came knocking and was asking about enlisting your services at some point. Is there any truth to that rumor?
Yes, there is. The drummer wanted me to start with a band. He really liked the way I played. But
yeah, we know about the politics of that whole thing. I mean, that whole Yes thing is just it's a mess. It's always been a mess. It's probably a good thing you didn't get mixed up in all that.
And no, I wasn't ready for anything like that. It would be disastrous for me. They are a good band. They used to be a good band, but I heard them on when Barracuda played on the trip to Bahamas.
Right.
And it was a little bit sleepy.
Yeah. age has a way of affecting us all, right? I mean, it's inevitable that as you get older, the fingers might not quite cooperate like they used to. Talk to me about what you do to keep those fingers of yours working right, dexterous and ambidextrous as they must be. Do you practice a lot, or do you just sit in front of a keyboard and do whatever you do?
Yeah, you have to practice. It's part of the daily routine. Because if you don't practice, you don't you can't make it.
Yeah.
But I never been like guns. I mean, there's so many keyboard players out there. They are so
Oh yeah.
fast and stuff like that. But that is not my way of playing. I try to find more interesting notes for me, you know. And one thing that really made me happy, I was talking to Michael Roy, he said to me that he heard a song and he didn't know who played it, but he heard just a few bars and he had to compost.
Yeah.
Because he said to me, he had a sort of signature sound, the signature way of picking notes that it's unique for my playing. I'm pleased with that. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was, man, when I started taking guitar lessons at 5, my guitar instructor said, you're doing an hour of scales and an hour of arpeggios before you even look at a piece of sheet music. Every day, man, before I could play anything, I had 2 hours of scales and arpeggios to look forward to. Yeah, it wasn't a fun childhood, but
Yeah,
if you want to get good, I guess you got to pay the price, right?
yeah. It goes without saying. You can't. If you don't want to do it, then don't.
That's it. Yeah, you got to love it, or else you're never going to get good at it. Now, you got this new band put together? You got this new record coming out. The people want to see you on the road doing some live gigs. What are the odds of seeing Tomas Bodin on the road?
Well, we started to talk about make that things happen, and it's early to say when and where. But as an idea that we see we need to really work this out, see how sales goes, and and the response from the album so far. It's good, but we have to see the future. Yeah.
There you go. Well, we're going to do our part over here in the Prog Corner to support what you do. I love your entire discography, all 12 albums with that other dude and that band you were in before. Your solo discography is outstanding. And now we got this new record to look forward to. And I will do everything I can to push it. I will do an album review as soon as I get a copy of the finished product. I haven't even heard it yet, man. So I'm so excited.
Did I send it to you?
Yeah, but not the right. It's not been fully mastered, right? Was that the finished product? Yeah. So I am so excited to talk to my people about this record. And Tomas, thank you so much for joining us in the Prog Corner. Just one more thing before you go.
Absolutely.
Have you heard anything lately that's really caught your attention? Any new music? Doesn't have to be prog, but what are you listening to these days?
Oh, well, just yesterday I heard something. Let me see. I don't recall the names, but it was a sort of vocal group in the same. Simon from Municipal. He's in this vocal group called Accent.
Yeah. I heard he's in that group now.
Yeah, and I heard a group called Cheese Return. There are 4 guys, and they were doing the Wonder song. They do that song. I don't remember one. And it was too much. I have to do a spin on that.
Yeah. I gotta listen to that.
Yeah. But there's so much music nowadays. I believe that during the COVID phase, people was sitting down rehearsing the butts off, just
Yeah.
to get better. And we have so many, it's like a freak show now. People can perform so well. I mean,
It's amazing how much talent there is out there in this world. And, the reason that I asked you if there was anything, recent that caught your ear, because honestly, if there wasn't, there'd be something wrong with you. There's so much great music out there. If you're not willing to do just a little bit of research, dig a little bit to find it, then, you probably shouldn't be in this business, man. So I'm so glad that you knew right away what you wanted to talk about.
the best Prog album I heard this year was Lucifer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Without any doubt.
That Teen Angel meets the Apocalypse. That epic it destroys me when they finally get to that outro and that final chord progression, man. The tears are rolling down my face.
Yeah.
It's one of those moments, man. Just so great.
Yeah, I agree. So I would say that the album of the year.
Yeah, I'm with you. That was a good one right there. Tomas Bodin is in the house, in the Prog Corner. Oh, man, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us here today. We're not live, so this will probably post Monday, I think, is what I like to do with the interviews. Monday seems to be a good day to publish the interviews, and also gives me a little time to promote it on the socials so we can get as many eyeballs on this as possible. And who knows, I might even put a clickbaity title on there like Tomas Bodin talks crap. No, I won't do that to you. I won't do that to you. This isn't Loudwire. We don't play that game here.
Thank you for having me, and great pleasure. So.
It was an absolute honor to have you in here. Been a huge fan since the very first time I heard Stardust We Are. That's what started my journey with you and your music. And thank you for everything that you've given to us, that you've given to the Prog community over these 25 or so years, man. It's just incredible. Glad you're doing good. Glad you're feeling good. And I'm so happy that we got fresh Tomas Bodin music that's fixing to come out. And have a great day. I love you guys. Peace in the Middle East. Free Tibet. Free the Ukraine. And you know what's coming. God save the king. Oh, save King Chucky. Chucky needs some saving. Oh, yeah, that boy needs some saving right now. Bringing that boy to America. Oh, yeah. He can swim. Make that boy swim. It'll be good for him. He needs the exercise. And then we're going to drink some poison. That's not going to work. Thoughts and prayers not going to work. But you know what's going to work, Tomas Bodin? Dancing with snakes. Oh, yeah. We're going to dance with them rattlesnakes. Oh, yeah. Oh, King Chucky will be just fine. I love you guys. Peace.
Well.